Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Fahmi Darmawan. I am a student at Mercubuana University, majoring in Management, Faculty of Economic and Business. In this meeting, I will explain the fact that can be done and cannot be done in the Singapore. Everyone wants to live in a beautiful place. It's the same thing. I want to be able to live in Singapore. Maybe in Singapore, I can do many things like playing in the playground, go to beautiful place in Singapore like Marina Bay, Singapore Flyer, Singapore Zoo. Can always enjoy delicious specialties in Singapore such as Singapore laksa, chili crab, roti prata, etc. However, its country has its own rules that we should not violate. In Singapore, it is like chewing gum because if you are caught chewing gum in Singapore, you can be punished in the form of a fine of $100 Singapore or the equivalent of 1 million rupiah. You know, if you are unable to pay the fine, you will be subject to another penalty, namely imprisonment for 2 years. Not only this who chew but those who sell will also be fined. This is not without reason. Singapore is indeed a very clean country. It is forbidden to steal Wi-Fi that does not belong to us. Never ever try to break into this Wi-Fi in Singapore. If you usually do this often in Indonesia, you should leave and never try if you are in Singapore. According to law in Singapore, if you connect your laptop to someone else's Wi-Fi, you are committing a crime that violates the law. As a reward for your action, there is a penalty that must be borne, namely having to pay a fine of around $1,000 Singapore, or the equivalent of 10 million rupiah. Prohibition of littering is also a bad habit that almost all of these people like to do for Indonesian citizens who are visiting Singapore for the first time. You should never try to litter, even if it is any small object. This is in fact will harm yourself and will be subject to a fine $300 Singapore or the equivalent of 2 million rupiah. Smoking indiscriminately, because if you smoke indiscriminately in Singapore, you will be fined $1,000 Singapore or the equivalent 10 million rupiah. Not only in public place, even almost place to stay in Singapore also apply the same thing in addition to being prohibited from smoking indiscriminately. For those of you who are smokers for the first time coming to Singapore, you should also know in the price of cigarettes sold in Singapore will make the pocket burst. And then speed carelessly, never speed in Singapore if you don't want to pay a fine of $1,000 Singapore or the equivalent 900,000 rupiah. You may often see an meat spin on the roadside or in public place in Indonesia. Maybe you have even done this yourself. But if you're in Singapore, don't ever do something like that. If caught, you will be caught and fined. You better save the money for shopping and testing culinary tourism snack in this white lion country. The reason I choose the country is because the people have a high level of discipline, so that it makes the people in the country easy to manage. This has an impact on the progress of the country, which is increasingly sophisticated because it has a high level of discipline. Besides that, Singapore is also included in the category of the cleanest country in the world, so that Singapore looks more organized and neat. As for famous places in Singapore, such as Universal Studios, Garden by the Bay, Botanical Garden, etc. Maybe that's all I can say. Thank you for your attention.